Well, good evening, everyone. We are here in the NFL Fantasy Matchup on a Monday evening, talking again all fantasy sports. And here we are watching the New England Arizona Cardinal game. Jed, Jimmy, hey, look, I usually will not say I am rooting for an injury, but I am glad at least now. You hope there's nothing wrong. Kyler Murray is out for the game because I need DeAndre Hopkins to win me a game.
Well, right
Good
now,
luck, man.
yeah, right now he's out. Is it? Do you guys know if it's a serious injury? I didn't really look.
Non-contact injury. So
okay.
Yeah, it's an ACL. It's probably ACL.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson just went out of the game. He is now listed as questionable to return.
How about Devontae Parker? Does this say anything about?
I haven't read
Devontae
anything about that yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, well, one of the things is our friend Jalen, Jed, it's in the league that I won last year as well too. So I really want to repeat as champions. If I lost today, I would have been out of the playoffs because all the guys ahead of me all won. But if I win, then at the same time, I think I go into about second or third place in our division, and then it really solidifies me a playoff spot.
And that's all he wants is to get into the playoff spot. Oh.
Yeah, but hey, seriously, this week I decided Cole Kmet was on the bye. I said, you know what? There's no tight ends. I'm just gonna keep Cole Kmet because I really have no wiggle room. And so a lot of times I said, Evan Ingram, he's not gonna do well. He goes and score 42 points with Trevor Lawrence doing pretty well too.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. And then ETN, I was actually very disappointed because I have ETN on 2 leagues. And he didn't do well. He scored like no more than 5 fantasy points. So I didn't watch the game, but I was like, I don't know what's going on over in Jacksonville right now.
Christian Kirk, 7 points. You would think if Trevor Lawrence had close to 40 points, that Christian Kirk would at least get more than 7 points.
Yeah. I wonder. I got to look. I got to look at the stats who he was throwing to.
Yeah. Jed, how's your team doing this week?
Good. So in 2 leagues, I'm in either first or second. In our Walter White league, I think I'm gonna take over first place after this week. So that's kind of nice. I think I'll be the regular season champ. So that's good. Then in my work league, I'm in first place. And then I thought I was out, but I'm gonna pull a Tommy in one of my oldest leagues and sneak into fourth. They only do 4 out of the top 10. 4 playoff spots. I think I'm going to sneak into the 4th one, but I lost Kyler Murray, so I got to figure out what to do for the playoffs next week.
You know what you're going to do, right?
Purdy.
No, Deshaun Watson.
No way. I am not selling my soul, man. But yeah, Brock Purdy, man. Hey, he looked good, and that's not a bad move.
Look, San Francisco. Were you guys surprised at how much they destroyed Tampa Bay? I mean, it just wasn't even close, 35-7.
Yeah, they jumped on him really quick. And actually, the offense looked really good. I hope Deebo Samuels, that didn't look good. I think they're saying high ankle sprain. But Brandon Ayuk had a touchdown too. So it was nice to see him spread it around.
Hey, let me give you guys a couple updates. Ramondre Stevenson out with an injury, most likely will not come back. Devontae Parker being evaluated for a head injury, questionable. My guess is he will not come back because of concussion protocols. And Kyler Murray was just ruled that he is out for the remainder of the game.
Well, Kyler Murray definitely looked like an ACL. When you see non-contact and then they fall and basically can't put any weight on it, I mean, that's an ACL injury. So that looked pretty serious.
MCL ankle sprain. They're hoping that he'll come back sometime, but he'll definitely miss this week.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I saw the Deebo Samuel one because he got rolled up. It didn't look too good, but we'll see.
All right, let me ask you guys a question. Who are 2 players that we have not seen all season that were once fantasy studs that now have been signed with teams?
Hilton, T.Y. Hilton in
T.Y.
Dallas.
Hilton, yep, is one. What's the other one?
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton got signed, but I actually don't like that. I wouldn't pick him up because Gallup has been the guy that's been getting the stuff after. So, and Dak Prescott had a pretty bad week.
Yep. Jim, do you know who the other one is?
No, I didn't.
It used to be your number 1 pick a couple of years ago and now disappeared. but now he's just been signed this week.
It's got to be a running back.
New Orleans Saints, David Johnson.
Oh yeah, David
out
Johnson.
of Houston. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, David Johnson has now been signed to the practice squad over of the New Orleans Saints. Man, I haven't heard David Johnson's name in ages.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm
he was
really
so
surprised about
good
T.Y.
for a while.
Yeah, I'm surprised about T.Y. Hilton.
A couple of things as well too. Give me 1 minute. I'm going through J.K. Dobbins. He did really, really well. For those who stashed him, I have him in one of my leagues. J.K. Dobbins has been on IR. He scored about 20-something points this past week.
Jed, I want to say to you, who I have on my Walter White league that's coming for you, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. I know I dropped him. And then, I dropped Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he had another good week.
Yeah,
so he had two good solid weeks.
Yeah.
We'll see. You might end up playing, although I have that bye that first week, so you got to get through that. But we might end up playing each other.
No, okay, so not to kind of go through but for my Walter White league, I picked up Darren Waller, J.K. Dobbins, Traylon Burks, and then also Zonovan Knight. So those are the last few people that I picked up, hoping that I can get into the playoffs and challenge you for the championship.
But don't you like that strategy? You kind of just pick up injured players, let it sit there, and then from that point you squeeze into the playoffs, and suddenly these guys are now healthy, and there you go. And I really enjoyed the strategy a lot.
Yeah, but you're also taking a lot of chances as well too, because you're hoping that they'll work out. Like, for instance, I had Jameson Williams sitting on my bench for ages, and I was like, oh, he finally got back and he's worth it. But is he worth, is he worth these next couple of weeks of waiting? So stuff like that.
Well, you have to have a few of those. I mean, the team that I have in that league, like I had Tony Pollard. I had to sit on him for the first few weeks. He's paid out a lot. I have Kenny Walker in that league. That's the league that I paid, I think, like $40 to get Kenny Walker. I still got him. He's out. We'll see. I've got George Pickens waiting in the wings, and then I got Mecole Hardman on IR. So, but you have to have a few of those, because some of those hit and then it comes back.
Look who just scored a touchdown. Kevin Harris, the number 3 running back for the Patriots, just scored a running touchdown.
Yeah, it is not Damian Harris, but more so the backup to the backup in Kevin Harris as well, too.
I wonder if they're related.
Hey, Jim, how did Ty Huntley work out for you?
No, not well. 7 points, 6 points. Okay, so I'm in this championship, or I'm in this league where this was the playoffs, and I had a chance to pick up one of 3 quarterbacks, Tannehill, Huntley, or Purdy. And I was like, maybe Tannehill. I wasn't even thinking about Purdy. I was like, Huntley's going to do well. Huntley stunk. 7 points. That's how I lost. And Purdy ended up scoring like 20-something fantasy points yesterday.
Yeah. Purdy had a really good.
But you ever look at that kid? He looks like a little kid. I was watching him doing his interviews yesterday. I was like, whoa, he looks young.
But at the same time, I probably would have gone with him as well, too, because Purdy – who would have thought going against a Tampa Bay defense that Tampa would have allowed him? Christian McCaffrey would be running all over the place, all of that stuff. Who would have thought we could have been sitting there? Tom Brady just completely decimated the entire defense.
Well, that's the reason why. If it was Purdy playing against anybody else except Tampa Bay, I would have picked up Purdy. But Tampa Bay's got a pretty good defense. Brady, usually around this time, playing against a rookie quarterback, usually does pretty well. So that's why I didn't even look at Purdy.
Yeah,
I might have to play him next week. I don't know. We'll see. I think he's playing Seattle in Seattle.
Oh, really?
So yeah, there could be some points to be had there.
Okay, speaking of Seattle as well too, Kenneth Walker, they're playing on Thursday. Kenneth Walker there's a good chance he'll probably be playing. But man, those running backs, we were talking about Homer. He had 9 carries, 26 yards. There literally was nothing going on with the Seattle offense, even in terms of Goodwin had 5 catches, 95 yards. Metcalf, 5 catches, 71 yards. So it was pretty much your wide receivers and definitely not your running backs. Yeah. So, Jed, in terms of Carolina, Deontay Foreman, 21 carries, 74 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries, 74 yards. What do you think of him for the stretch run here?
He's on a lot of waivers, and I mean he's still getting his carry. So if you get lucky with a touchdown, then all of a sudden he's got a double-digit fantasy day. So if you're desperate, I don't think it's a bad play. I mean, for me, Damian Pierce has been like on and off, and I think I sat him and he had 11 points this week, so it's okay. But it's you never know. Chuba Hubbard might be okay. You got to look at the matchups.
But Jim, Damian Pierce, I mean, a lot of times went out for an ankle injury. There's a pretty good chance he will not play per Lovie Smith on week 15. But Damian Pierce, I mean, Houston ran all over the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's the backup to Damian Pierce. Who's that running back that used to be with the Patriots? You know who I'm talking about? Burkhead. Burkhead most likely will end up being the running back next week. And look, he's actually a pretty decent play if you need somebody, because he's actually in spot starts. He's done pretty well.
Yeah. Jed, were you surprised at how bad the Cowboys were?
Yeah, especially against Houston. That was a shock. I mean, I think they ended up winning, but it wasn't until the very last second. I mean, it was still a great day for Tony Pollard because he had 2 touchdowns, but otherwise, Prescott especially had a bad day. And actually, that's the guy, Prescott. So I got to replace Murray, and then another team I've got Prescott, and I've got to figure out, do I get someone else or do I stick with him? But if he's playing, who is it? So they're playing. I just blanked on that. Who's Dallas playing next week?
I can look. I don't know who they're playing.
No. But at the same time, I mean, look at the running backs. Ezekiel Elliott. Now, they are both getting 1 touchdown. Pollard got 2 touchdowns. He ran for 1, caught for 1. But at the same time, it's a split share right there. And my disappointment is CeeDee Lamb. He only had 5 catches for 33 yards. Look, I mean, at this time right now, he's currently on my dynasty. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would keep on my dynasty next.
Who, CeeDee Lamb or I'm not a big CeeDee. I mean, I think if you look at the running, did you guys know that Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb was picked before Justin Jefferson in the last draft?
Yep.
I mean, for sure. Justin Jefferson, you'll pick up stage.
Well,
right?
do you know who was the number 1 wide receiver picked in that draft? Do you guys know?
Yeah, Jeudy.
No, the Las Vegas Raider guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Ruggs.
Yeah, who's in jail now, right? Yep, Ruggs was the number 1 pick.
Do you know who else was picked in that draft? Gabe Davis was picked in that draft. One of the Bears wide receivers was picked. Mooney was picked in that draft. So yeah.
There's a guy by the name of Chris Moore. We probably is not even on anyone's radar for us. Yesterday, he caught 10 catches, 124 yards against the Dallas secondary, who was supposed to be very, very good in the Dan Quinn defense.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I was playing a lot of the Cowboys, because you would think that Houston, being somewhat of a bad team, would allow a lot of points being scored, but they do have the Lovie Smith defense, so maybe that was the thing that factored in.
Yeah, Jed, Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins. I know how much you love Kirk Cousins. How many yards did you think that he threw, and how many yards do you think Justin Jefferson received for it?
I think Cousins threw for over 400, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, over 400 yards.
Yeah, and but I don't know. I think Jefferson. Yeah, didn't he have like 180 or something?
No, 223.
What?
Yeah,
220.
Good game, but they ended up losing. They ended up losing to the Detroit Lions, who's on a 5-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, but Jim, Dalvin Cook. I mean, 15 carries, 23 yards.
Yeah,
he got his touchdown though. He got his touchdown.
Yeah, Jed, are you gonna keep him on your?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't you think that he's going down the path Ezekiel Elliott is? At some point, they're going to do a split carry between him and Madison.
Did you see the touchdown run? The Dalvin Cook touchdown run. There's maybe only 5 people in the NFL that could have made that move. I mean, I know that they're not playing him he's not as much of the workhorse as he was before, but man, I'm not giving up Dalvin Cook. No. That's a plug and play, and just let him sit there and you don't have to worry about it.
Jim, I know a lot of times on the Dallas side, we've been looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown, but suddenly DJ Chark very quietly. 94 yards this past week and 98 yards last week. I mean, he's been doing well. He's 6 catches and 5 catches here. What do you think of DJ Chark?
He's okay, but I mean, like I said before, the person I'm paying attention to is Jameson Williams. I think Alabama rookie wide receiver. His first pass or first reception was a 40-yard touchdown by Jared Goff. And I'm actually really paying attention to what the next few weeks are going to look like. But you have to also look at Monron St. Brown, right? Because of Chark and because of Williams, he only scored 10 fantasy points. So that's something to keep an eye on as you're going forward as well, too.
Yeah.
Hey, what about Pacheco? Do you guys have? So I have to pick now between Pacheco and Damian Pierce. That's a tough one because Pacheco looked pretty good.
I don't know. Yeah.
But just because Damian Pierce is not playing, I mean, it goes to Pacheco.
No. Oh, you think he'll be out for sure?
I'm pretty sure he'll be out.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Smith, Lovie Smith today, most likely he'll be out. Yeah. What about Saquon Barkley? You know, Saquon Barkley had that 152-yard game a couple of weeks ago. And since then, he's had 22, 39, 83, 28 yards. And they got destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Giants, I mean, the problem is still the running game can be there, but the passing game needs support, and it doesn't seem like it's coming around.
What do you call it? Kenny Galladay finally played after a few weeks. He got 0 catches and 0 throws.
Hey, how did Cam Akers do? Did you get something else?
Let me see. Cam Akers, how did he do?
Were they off? Did they have a bye?
No, they played on Thursday.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Hey, but Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you, he is on my keeper league. He will continue to be on my keeper team. I love a Jalen Hurts.
I want to say he's kind of vaulted. Wouldn't you say he's vaulted the top 5 quarterback right now?
Oh, yeah, top 3, I would even say.
Oh, top 3. I think he's surpassed a Lamar Jackson. Probably Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and then suddenly Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, because it used to be, right? It used to be Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and then also Josh Allen, right? But from a fantasy perspective, I think Jalen Hurts is up there now.
And you know what? Joe Burrow is having a really good year.
I think he surpassed Justin Herbert this year too.
Yeah. I think fantasy-wise, he might be top. He might even be top 3.
Justin Herbert. Some people thought Justin Herbert, fantasy-wise, was going to challenge Josh Allen, but Justin Herbert's been disappointment.
Well, the whole Chargers team, too many injuries. I think this past Sunday was the first time from the starting first game that they had the same lineup as far as injuries. So it's just taken a huge toll for them.
Yeah.
And so suddenly a lot of times we look at he threw for 367 yards. Eckler did okay. Mike Williams got 116 yards. Keenan Allen got 92 yards. Even after the post-game interview, Keenan Allen says this was their first game all season. They felt like they were running on all cylinders.
Yep, exactly. So they might be hitting it at the right time. One interesting thing to think about is every year you look at, they always do this stat where they show what player do the most teams in the playoffs have. Like who helped carry you into the playoffs. I bet this year that it's one of the Eagles, like either Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown. Yeah. Totally. If you had either of those guys, I think you had a really good chance to be in the playoffs.
And think about it, AJ Brown, like you could have gotten him in the mid round, right?
I got him like at pick 20.
Yeah. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. I mean, you had Mahomes go, you had Josh Allen, you had Justin Herbert. I would say he was like the 5th, 6th quarterback that went off the board.
Yeah, and then the other wide receiver was Tyreek Hill. A lot of people didn't pick Tyreek Hill till.
Did you guys see his touchdown from yesterday?
Yeah, off the fumble recovery.
Yeah,
that was nuts.
Fumble recovery. Yeah, that was a smart play.
It was so fast. Like when he picked it up, all of a sudden it was like boom. So fast.
Yeah. I'm sitting here talking with you and looking at the red zone. DeAndre Hopkins had 1 foot out and out of bounds. Oh my gosh. Look, I see it. 1 foot out. He catches it out.
Yeah.
Hey, so the worst loss I've ever had was on the day after, on Tuesday, because of a stat correction.
Oh,
I lost a matchup because they changed. I think what was originally ruled a fumble, like they changed it or something. So my team lost 1 point and it moved me down, and then that guy won. That was the worst.
Yeah.
If you were to look at your team right now, Jed, I'm going to go with you and then I'm going to go with Jimmy. who is one player on all of your teams that you are depending on to just do well for the rest of the playoff run? Who's the one person you're watching all their games?
That I'm depending on to do. I mean, if I'm depending on them to do well, I don't need to watch. So like AJ Brown is one of my guys where I'm just plug and play. I don't even think about it. I think the ones that I'm watching though, where it's like I'm not totally sure. So Tony Pollard is a good example.
Yeah,
I need him to have a good game, and I'll probably watch those games and see. Aaron Jones is another guy, kind of you don't know how Green Bay is going to do. And so that's another one I'm not sure of.
Yeah. For me, a lot of times, Jim, what do you think about yourself?
I'm looking. So Garrett Wilson is the person who I think is the big difference maker. Yesterday, he scored close to 11 fantasy points. There are weeks where he scored close to 30-some fantasy points, right? And so if Garrett Wilson is having a good week, usually my teams are winning. If he's not having a good week, it's going to be pretty close for me. So I think for him, he's the person I've been really paying attention to.
Yeah. And I would also say just overall, the tight end position. Yeah. The tight end position has been so hard to win all year. And so that in all of your matchups, if you can win that battle, a lot of times you end up winning.
Yeah. The one that I'm looking for right now that has gotten me excited, I think we've talked about him before, Christian Watson. It has made me want to tune in to Green Bay games just to see how Christian Watson does. And then now this coming week, J.K. Dobbins. I'm going to be watching a Baltimore game to see how J.K. Dobbins is, but Christian Watson, J.K. Dobbins, two players. I mean, I had high hopes for Dobbins, but Christian Watson was not really on my radar, and here we are. And I've enjoyed watching Green Bay games because of that.
Going back to Green Bay, that's the running backs are also what I'm looking for. Aaron Jones is on quite a few of my teams, but lately in the last week or two, they've started using A.J. Dillon more again, which is going to eat into Aaron Jones's time. And so that's the thing that I'm a little concerned about is I need Aaron Jones to do well in these last few weeks.
Hey, if you missed out on Christian Watson, which a lot of people did, one other person that I'm picking up is Drake London, because they declared the new quarterback, who's the guy that they declared as the new starter. And so I'm hoping that he'll kind of a bit of a fire, and Drake London will be one of the recipients. So just if you're looking at wide receiver, that could be another pickup.
Did they play yesterday, the Falcons, or no?
They were on bye.
Oh, okay. Hey.
No, they were off a bye, and that's why a lot of times you could have got them.
Look, on our keeper league, I'm looking right now, Drake London is right there available.
Yep. Hey, going back to the Cincinnati Bengals, Jed, you were talking about how well Joe Burrows was doing. Yesterday, Jamar Chase, the second game back, 119 yards. Joe Mixon also came back 96 yards. And then also that's really about it. T. Higgins didn't really do anything yesterday.
Well, he's injured. You know that,
is he injured?
Yeah, he got injured yesterday, so he went out. So that's why Jamar Chase and also Tyler Boyd got quite a bit of carries. You also saw P. Ryan go out there as well too to catch some of those passes. Yeah, Higgins. So he's being evaluated. I don't know what the injury is, but I saw that he got injured.
Yeah. Did you guys also see that news report? It was first reported by Rappaport that talks about all cards are on the table for Tom Brady ever since his divorce. He's a free agent next year for Tampa Bay. And so a lot of times he may resign or he may continue to play his career. And one place that people have been talking about is San Francisco.
Yeah, well, they also said that some people speculate on New England, but I doubt he's going back to New England.
Yeah, that would be crazy if you went back to New England. That would be nuts. You know who I'm going to keep in the keeper league, though, Jimmy, is Khalil Herbert. I have Khalil Herbert sitting there.
Really? You're going to keep Herbert in the keeper league?
Yeah, I think Herbert might be the guy that I keep because I think he's going to have that starting role next year. They're going to get rid of Montgomery. Justin Fields is going to continue to, and if he gets the goal line carries there and their offense takes off, that could be a really good pull.
But Jed, we have 4 people you keep, right? Is that the person you're going to keep? It's Khalil Herbert. Well, you're also you're kind of down there, Jed.
Oh no, I'm in last, and this is a bad year for me. But I mean, Tyreek Hill is a definite. Derrick Henry is a definite. I would keep Dalvin Cook. I know you guys don't like him. But I think my 4th is going to be potentially Khalil Herbert. If not him, I mean, it could be Kyler Murray. It could be Mike Williams, Brandon Ayuk. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
DJ Moore has not done anything for you.
No. Jim, I was very
No, that
disappointed.
trade
I
wasn't good.
cut J.K. Dobbins in our keeper league. I should have kept him and see how well he did.
Yeah.
I ended up because I needed that IR spot, and I ended up keeping Javonte Williams, who I love Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
But man, Denver stinks. Well, anyways, I think a lot of times I am glad that, well, I'm not glad that Kyler Murray and Devontae Parker went out, but I'm glad that I'm going to win this particular league. And so I'm going to sit here and watch the rest of the game here.
Well, because you were anticipating, weren't you anticipating? Because I was looking at you were anticipating you were going to lose.
Oh, I was anticipating I was going to lose. I was pretty sure about that. Yeah. Anything else for you as you guys are looking at? Who are some of the guys that are on waivers that you're going to look at? I mean, many of them. We only have a couple weeks left. There's not too many weeks that we're going to be together talking here, and we're about to head into playoff times here.
I mean, there's not. I'm trying to think who is even. I see T.Y. Hilton is out there on. Kevin Harris, depending on what happens to Damian Harris, is out there. Purdy, if you're looking for a quarterback. Evan Ingram, who had such a big week, but I don't know if I trust in Ingram, right? Like, I think he'll be okay, but I don't think he'll have such a big week. Drake London is out there. I think he's somebody to take a look at as well too. And then also the person I've been looking for, if you need a tight end, who I was kicking myself because I picked Noah Fant over this guy, Okonkwo. He's a tight end for Tennessee Titans. He had 15 fantasy points, 12 fantasy points the week before. He's actually done pretty well.
But honestly, I think a lot of times if you really need a wide receiver, you can't go wrong with DJ Chark.
How does he do? DJ Chark had 25 fantasy points last week. And then the week before that, he had 14 fantasy points. Not bad, actually. Yeah.
Other than that, Jen,
let's talk about how I tied you in basketball. I'm shocked. Did you see that, Jimmy? I tied Tommy.
Yeah, I saw that.
5-5.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Look, Chris Middleton, I needed a couple more points. I was sitting there, Giannis. Why did you get only 16? He had 16 points, but 18 rebounds. Can we please score some more? All I needed was 2 points to tie and 4 points to beat him.
Yeah, and you know what? So I don't know if you saw, I had to drop and pick up a couple guys, but I had a really big night from what's his name?
Yes,
it was
the guy from
Bogdanovich. Yeah, Bogdanovich had 38 points. He really went nuts. And then I picked up Lonnie Walker, and Harrison Barnes, and they both had 15 and 18. So that was, man, I totally lucked out. But
Jed, I looked at the points,
with you, man.
And I said, I'm killing him in points. There's no way you can catch him. And suddenly the Detroit guy just goes off. I said, how the heck did he score 38 points?
See, that's why I love fantasy. You never know, especially in basketball. Basketball is one of the hardest to follow because there's so many. Like, you have to follow.
There's so many games.
Yeah, and there's so many injuries, right? So people sit just for a game, and then when that changes their playing time, and then, man, people can really, like Bogdanovich, all of a sudden can have a huge game just because he gets like 5 more minutes of playing time, 7 more minutes. So, but Jimmy's been trying to pry away Banchero from me, Tom.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah, multiple offers. But I'm not, dude. I paid $110 or something ridiculous to get him. I can't just give him up.
Jim, at this point, just trade all your players, Damian Lillard, whatever it is. Just trade everyone.
I thought Jimmy was going for the Wembanyama. That's what he's trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I decided that's what my new strategy is. So I've been trying to get some of the young. I just want younger players, so that's what I've been working on right
now. Banchero, Zion Williamson, John Morant.
I told you guys about Zion. Remember, you guys were like, Zion. I was like, man, Zion, as soon as he gets his head on straight, he's going to be good. The guy is ridiculous.
Do you think it's because he lost some weight, or do you think he's finally focused?
No, I think he's more mature. I mean, remember, these guys are so young. They come out and they make so much money. I think it takes them a couple years to kind of settle down. So I don't know. You can't really blame them in my mind. Hey, the other good pickup I had was Russell.
Russell Westbrook?
No, D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was dropped early on. He didn't start off the season very well, but he's been playing really well the last couple weeks.
He'll do okay until Karl Anthony Towns comes back. Then he'll go back to same old D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, we'll see. playing time is a big piece of all of it.
And so
Oh,
I think a lot of times you're looking at like Jalen. Jalen and I made a trade. Or Jalen was asking, why'd you trade Shea Alexander and for Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, a bunch of different guys? Is my concern is the Thunder is going to start tanking. And the last couple of years, he's going out with a mysterious knee injury during playoff time. And you're sitting there, oh my gosh, I lose a player. So we'll see. Jimmy was nice enough to give me Paul George as well as who's the other one that you gave me, Jim? Julius Randle.
yes.
So that helped me a lot. So I appreciate that. So he is definitely in the tanking mode. And so he is in the midst of trying to lose as many games as he can and stock up on younger players.
You know,
Good luck.
You know, when I become the last place team, I'm going to go after one player and I'm going to spend all my money on him. I wonder if you can spend all $200 on the player. No,
Yeah.
I bet they won't let you. They won't let you.
Oh, what's there for them not to be able to let you?
No, you have to have enough. You have to have $1 per slot.
For the remaining players.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you have to have at least $1 for the remaining players.
Yeah.
Got it. So literally, you'll just bid $190.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Anything else as we're sitting there looking at the game? Anything else?
Hey, World Cup soccer. I don't know if anyone likes soccer, but this weekend's games were great, and there were some really solid upsets as well. It was exciting for me. I liked so Morocco had an upset, Croatia got in, and now you've got two big matchups. So that's tomorrow we have a game, and then Wednesday we have a game. So if you like soccer, if you've dabbled, now's the time to watch because the level of play is very high.
Who do you think is going to end up winning this thing?
I think France is a pretty much shoe-in to get in. I hope it's not a rematch. So 4 years ago, it was France versus Croatia. I hope it's France versus Argentina because Argentina hasn't won in a long time. And the what's his name, the great player on their team, Messi, he's never won. And so I'd love to see him have a chance to win, at the end of his career. He's at pretty much the end of his career. So
got it. Very good. Are you guys working this week, Jed? Are you taking next week off or you're working next week?
I'm trying to take next week off, but everybody's like trying to not let me. So we'll see. This week is already nuts, but yeah, I'm trying. I have to I'm driving down to see my parents in Texas, so at some point I've got to take off.
Oh wow. Okay, got it.
Well, you're driving all the way to Texas. Where at?
My parents are in McKinney, so just north of Dallas. Yeah, they moved there about a year ago. If you guys ever go down that way, it's like really good Chinese food. So I'm looking forward to eating. Yeah, I'm looking forward to eating a lot.
Yeah.
All right. We'll probably see each other maybe Thursday, Friday, or something like that.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. Talk soon.